This is what I believe. Russell Larrabee has been homeless for 10 years now. The real reason why he's been homeless for so long is because he's a Crime Stoppers boy. Yeah, that the police do this. Stay on the streets, and if you get enough information and it leads to a conviction, an arrest and a conviction, you call this number. You call this number, all they think is we should take advantage of that homeless guy. If he could be floating around, like, he just happens to be homeless. That's how they look at it. He just happens to be homeless. That's how it started off, though. It's not like that anymore. It started like this. It started off where he just happened to be homeless. And you think as an officer, well, if he's going to be homeless, let's pay him. Let's reward him if he can collect information and he can call Crime Stoppers and it could lead to a conviction. We should reward that kind of behavior. I mean, you got other homeless people not helping. But if you got a homeless guy who is, we should reward that. So while he's working on collecting the information that will lead to a conviction, while he's working on all that, they give him money. Kind of like covering expenses. Okay? So when one of their kind was crying and having a meltdown, and he was having a meltdown and he was crying and he was going, ah! And his teammate, the police, went, "What's wrong, Russell?" And he explained it like this. "Well, I'm fucking tired. And Living Space only offers, they don't offer 3 meals in a day and a snack. They don't offer 3 meals a day and a snack at night. They don't offer that. No, you got to run around the city and get it. Now, that would sound very exhausting if you lived in Toronto. Okay, if you lived in Seton House, and Seton House didn't offer 3 meals a day and a snack, and you had to go run to the yellow door and here and there, and you got tickets, but you were really running around. You were given tokens to ride the streetcar, but you really had to run around. Okay? It'd be a lot of work. But it's normalized here, and it's accepted because it's a small town. But that's a lot of work, getting 65 years old, 62 years old. That's a lot of work, wear and tear on your body. But it all started with this. He's a homeless guy. He's doing nothing. I bet you a lot of cops feel like that. Look at you, you're homeless. You could collect information, be useful, and collect it. Give it to us.
Oh, you don't want an apartment? Bullseye, we were after you. You have to give us information.
You never know. The point, though, is when we moved back here, potentially Russell was crying, explaining it like, "I don't want to see her, and I'll have to. They don't provide 3 meals a day and a snack. I have to go out."
Get rid of her or else I'm getting an apartment.
Yeah. So, they said, all right, she doesn't work. She's on ODSP. She has mental health. It should be, we won't go up to her apartment and knock on the door and say, "You need to leave Timmins because there's a conflict with you and Russell." We won't do that. But what we could do, and it could be easy because she doesn't work, ODSP, mental health, what we could do instead is just never charge you for the things that you do to her so then she could leave. Okay? So that's how it all started. It all started with a homeless guy, and the cops are going, "Get an apartment or you have to be a rat."
Yeah. We need guys like you. There's not enough.
I could see the Timmins police being corrupt like that. So he got all wrapped up into it.
Yeah.
He got all wrapped up into it. And then, because he's been homeless for 10 years, he doesn't want to see you. And then from there, it's, okay, do what you got to do to get them to leave. That's why now when you call the police and you say you want Russell charged, they're like this, That was already dealt with. I don't want to hear about it.
Oh, big time.
The 3 things that he should be charged with, but it all has been let to happen because there's this goal, there's this agenda of, no, let Russell do what he's got to do. Because he was really sad when we first got here. Just like when we first got here and I was messaging Terry and then she called the police and the police came here and they were saying, you know, there's other cities, eh? You know, there's other cities, eh? You know, there's other cities, eh? And he's like, you're really persistent on that. But it was like I wanted to tell the cop, I know there's other cities, but listen, I never even wanted to go find my father. I only did that because Terry and Russell were always going, Carl, because they thought, no, Francine won't go with him. He'll have to go on his own and then something will happen to him. Or he'll kill himself. Or he'll be arguing with Francine and he can hit her. And those 3 things. And then so after we go to Hamilton and we finally find Carl, at one point I wanted to leave. So when I get my mom to come down here just to see how her mom's doing, and then she's saying, hey, there's an apartment in Timmins. I said, well, let's get out of Hamilton. I don't want to stay here forever. Remember, I didn't even want to come here. And let's get out of Hamilton because I don't even want to stay here. So let's go. So now we're in Timmins, but Russell's doing this. Russell's crying. I don't want them here. I don't want to see him. And the cops need him to be happy. Happy being homeless. And if you're going to be homeless, you're going to get information. And that matters way more. So Russell's allowed. The first thing, Mom, he's making YouTube videos. He's making the videos just how he can tell you today. You go to a free dinner today, and he's there, Russell, and he tells you, I got you good, eh? I got you good, eh? Your kid's going to get you. What he means when he says that, your kid's going to get you, he's making YouTube videos. He believes that potentially one day, I will look on the computer and I will believe that it's you doing this to me. And then from there, he believes that potentially one day I will look at the computer, believe that it's you doing it to me, that I will potentially hit you, and that could potentially lead to a murder, and that the cops potentially will say that they had no prior knowledge of a situation that could lead to a murder. Well, we had no knowledge of a situation. Well, I'm here to say that there is a situation. The situation is this. I don't want them here that the cops thought we can't knock on the door and tell them to leave and say, you guys need to leave Timmins because Russell doesn't want you here. We can't do that. But what we can do is we can let you do what you got to do. And if you break the law, we won't press charges because we know what we're working for. We're working to get them to want to leave. The first thing, making the videos. And it's not making the videos, it's the intent. His intention is to put your safety, your life at risk. When he says your kid's going to get you, or I got you good, eh? I got you good, eh? Your kid's going to get you. He means your kid's going to